Hi, I'm Quintin Conway, and this is my beautiful wife, Lori Conway. We'd like to take just a few moments and tell you a little bit about ourselves. We live in Kansas City, Missouri, and we have a household of six of us, right? We've got us two and four kiddos, and our kiddos range in age of
10, 8, 6, and 4.
Okay, so here's how our story went. We're one of those kind of growth stories. We were junior high sweethearts. We grew up together. We've been dating since high school straight. We always knew that we wanted to have a family together. That was always part of our plan. And we had worked and talked it out. We knew that, we would graduate from school, enter the working world and career world, figure out what we were doing. But when it came time to have a family, Lori's goal was always to stay at home, right?
It was my heart's desire to be able to stay at home. And I knew that wasn't possible for most. So we did for the first 5 years of our marriage, that we both worked and we made money and we saved it and put it back to make that a reality.
So what happened was we kind of fell into, I think, a routine that most people will resonate with. We graduated from college, you started working, I started working. Once we had kiddos, you stayed at home with our firstborn, and I kept working. I finally landed a good job in the banking industry, and I was a banker for almost 10 years. And I would classify myself as one of those guys that lived according to the schedule of life that men are taught to live. And what I mean by that is we go to school, we meet our sweetheart, we graduate, we learn a trade or we go to college, and then we spend the rest of our life grinding away, working for the man, because it's our job as men to be hunter-gatherers. It's that innate thing inside of us. And I feel like I was living that path. Like I was working 65 hours a week. I never saw my kids. I never saw my family. We were like two passing ships in the night. We were on the same team. We were working together, but we hardly ever saw each other. And then there's you. You were at home.
Yeah, I was living my dream. I really was. I was able to stay home with our 4 kiddos and really live in the moment of being able to take care of them and provide at home for our family by just making sure the upkeep of the kids in the house. But in the midst of living my dream, I completely lost myself. I became Quintin's wife, my children's mom. Everywhere I went in public, nobody knew my name. They just knew who I was because of association by someone from our household.
Or something else, or church.
Or a mop's mom, and I didn't have my own self-image anymore, or my identity anymore. I had lost myself. And about 3 years ago, I ran into an opportunity that allowed me to be able to fill my cup back up. And I think in filling my cup back up, that's exactly what I needed to do. I didn't have the extra time necessarily to be able to do that. I mean, who has extra time to do anything?
Right, totally.
But I knew at that point in my life that if I didn't take a moment and figure out who I was, I wouldn't be able to do what I ultimately wanted to do, and that would be to give back to my family, give back to my marriage, because this is my best friend, to be able to give back to our kiddos in the way that I wanted to give back to them. And so this opportunity was allowed me to be able to fill myself back up, so I had so much more to be able to give to those people that I loved.
Yeah, I don't think we'd be overstating it to say that this business changed everything about our life. Absolutely everything. Again, I married my best friend. We lived a good life. We lived comfortably. We didn't live paycheck to paycheck, but we didn't have leftovers for extra. I made good income. But as a big family comes big expenses. And so, I'm very thrifty. I'm tightwad minded. I always like to say that. And
this moment life has been
that's right. Well, but the burden of providing is really real for a man. And so I felt like I was doing okay. And like she said, as a banker, I was involved in a lot of activities, and we would go to fundraisers, and we would be at different events. And she was always my wife; she was never her, and I was always that guy that was never home when I came home with my kids. And so everything changed for us 3 years ago. Everything changed for us, and I can't emphasize enough to you and to you how much my heart is different, how much our lives are different, because people will say, we're standing in a big old house now, and we're living a life that, we both work from this big old house now, right? I work with my best friend. I'm home with my family. We just today took all of our kids to lunch at school. We sat there for 2 hours and enjoyed it. I could have never done that before. Everything about my life is different. My family life is different. My financial life is different. People always say, well, money doesn't buy happiness. And I always say, well, money doesn't buy happiness, but debt sure does buy crankiness. And I was cranky. I was unhappy. I was not a happy person because I was living the grind that the world was telling me to do. And my wife here she is, God bless her soul, was working her tail off at home, and she had lost herself.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're two people who had lost ourselves.
Right, absolutely. You know, I felt like I not only lost myself, but I saw that happening to my husband, and it broke my heart because I knew that whether he wanted to or not, he had to get out of bed and go to work every day. And I remember those Sunday nights, you know, I could get teary-eyed just talking about it, how he did not want to get up to go to work on Monday. And I knew as a stay-at-home mom, that made me start to feel guilty. And it made me feel like I was giving it back as much as I could. But there was one aspect of our family, of our life, that I was not able to provide, and that was income if I was going to be able to live the dream that we always wanted for us and our family. And, you know, and seeing that in him, you know, he started to lose himself, and I saw that too. And this opportunity was able to help me to fill my cup back up and pour back into him and pour back into our marriage and allow him to know that he was not only just appreciated, but he was worth so much more. And, you know, I hear people say this, and I wanted to pass this along to you, but, you know, I think we get so comfortable in our everyday life that we never stretch out and we never change anything up. And that is such a disservice to you and your family, because if you never stretch beyond what you think you can do, you will never be greater than you are now. And if we didn't change anything 3 years ago, we wouldn't be any better than we were 3 years ago. And I'm not saying that our lives were bad, but we were struggling, and we were struggling, I think, more than we even realized at that point. You know, people, they work a great job and they make $50,000 a year, and that keeps them from making that $50,000 a month. And that $50,000 a month is a reality for anybody that wants it, just to grab it.
Yeah.
And the reality is, if you're going to a 9-to-5 job and you're working for a boss, you are building someone else's dreams.
Yep.
You are not building your own family dreams, your individual dreams. It has nothing to do with your family. You're building someone else's dreams.
So I think hopefully, if anything from this video, what you've got is a feel from us. We have a real passion for what we're doing. We have a real passion for the opportunity that we found. We are living a real dream.
Yes.
We really are. And we have a newfound passion in each other, in our family, and what makes us most satisfied now is to help people like you learn about what we've done, to teach you how to do what we've done. Anyone can do what we've done.
Absolutely.
Absolutely anyone who's willing to take that chance and try it.
You don't have to fit a certain size, shape, gender, or anything. You just have to be willing to put forth the work and have a little bit of grit.
And the good news is we've already made all the mistakes for you along the way.
We can show you what not to do and what exactly to do.
So our passion, our heart's passion, is helping people see that there's a different way out there. You don't have to be two passing ships in the night. You don't have to lose yourself as a stay-at-home mom. You don't have to be a cranky banker. There's something else out there for you, and we can help you find that.
There is a better way.